Hello friends, I welcome you all to this 38th videos on law of evidence. Today we will be seeing from section 95 to section 100 of Indian Evidence Act. In our last video we have seen what is ambiguity, what is patent ambiguity and what is latent ambiguity. Then we had studied about patent ambiguity and section 93 and 94 in detail. Today we will focus on latent ambiguity. To revise, we will just see again what are or what is meant by latent ambiguity. Then what are its various kinds, uh, those which are described under the Indian Evidence Act from section 95 to 98. And is extrinsic evidence allowed in case of latent ambiguity? So that if a document contains a latent ambiguity, is it allowed to give extrinsic evidence or not? So as usual, I will just make you give you some acronym so that you can remember it. Please don't mind my acronyms; they are just for sake of learning. So as you see that healthy lady is sitting in the lap. So remember the word lap, and healthy lady is also called moti. Again, I'm sorry, it's just for remembering purpose and nothing else. And as you can see, flats here. So today we will be using these three words. But before that, as I told you that we will first see what is latent ambiguity. So latent ambiguity. So as we have already seen that ambiguity means that there is some problem in the meaning with regard to the meaning of the document. That is, on plain reading, the document does not make any sense. Now, in case of patent ambiguity, it is apparent on face of it. That is, reading itself, one can find out that there no meaning comes out of it. But in case of latent ambiguity, plain reading makes a sense. But when we go to apply it to the existing facts, so when we apply it to the existing facts, then it does not make any sense, or the real nature of it is not displayed. So that is a latent ambiguity. Ambiguity where a defect is not apparent on face of the record but in its application. So in its application. To the facts stated in it, there is a defect. Now, remember the word lap as I told you. So, lap, what does lap means? Lap here, L stands for latent. A stands for ambiguity. So, A stands for ambiguity and P stands for permitted. So remember that wherever there is latent ambiguity, extrinsic evidence is permitted. The sole purpose of making this acronym was only this, so that you remember it when it is asked. Many times it is asked in prelims examination. Now these are the four types of there we saw the word used was fat, and a fat man was there. Here we have the word moti, a fat lady is here. And this is what we will now see, that M stands for meaning, and this is section 95. So what section 95 says, that when the on plain reading of the document it does not the clear meaning, or no it is unmeaning in it, then in that case latent ambiguity is there and evidence is permitted. You will understand it more easily. First, let us see the examples. So, the example is that if A sells to B his house, and in that document he says that I sell to you my house which is at Calcutta. But the thing is that A has no house at Calcutta. Instead of it, A has got a house at Havra, and B is in possession of this house of A at Havra. Then, as if the plain reading, if we make the plain reading that A sold his house at Calcutta to B, but A has, since A has got no house at Calcutta itself, it doesn't make any sense. So it is unmeaning to it. But when we see it to the facts that A has got a house at Havra and B is in possession of house at Havra, and Calcutta and Havra are almost same in the local language. So that Calcutta here actually means Havra. That evidence can be allowed to be given. It is a type of latent ambiguity. So now read it. When language used in document is plain in itself. So language is plain but unmeaning in reference to existing facts. So when we apply it to existing fact, it is unmeaning. Evidence may be given to show that it was used in a peculiar sense. So evidence can be given that actually the word was not used that by Calcutta we meant Havra. So this is what is section 95. Then section 96. O, only one of several things. Here also we will just see the example first and then we'll remember. Now, so see the example. The example is that suppose A says to B that I will sell you my horse, my white horse, for so and so rupees. Now suppose A has got three white horse. All the three are white. But he says he has sold only one. Now, which white horse? This white horse, this white horse, or this white horse? So, this is a type of latent ambiguity, and now the evidence can be given that which white horse was actually which he meant. So, when the document refers to only one of the several things, and only one, there are several things of same kind and only one is referred, then which particular thing is referred, for that evidence can be given. So we'll just read. When facts are such that language used might have been meant to apply to anyone and could not have been meant to apply to more than one of several person or thing, so it can apply to anyone but could not have had applied to more than one, that is only one was sold. Evidence may be given of fact which shows which of those person or thing it was intended to apply. So evidence can be given as to which white horse actually it was referred by A or by B. So that is what is O here, one of the several thing referred. Next is T, that is section 97. when it is two set of things. This also we will understand by example first. What it says is that suppose A sells to B, his land, say his 50 acres land at Delhi. So what he does is that A through a document, and in that document it is written that A has sold to B 50 acres of land at Delhi belonging to A. But when we actually to read it, there is no ambiguity; it is clear in its meaning. But when we apply it to the actual fact, then at Delhi A has land, but that land is only of 25 acres, and 50 acre of land he had at Faridabad. So now evidence, so out of two set of things, that whether he meant this land at Delhi or land at, or whether the emphasis was on 50 acres. So if it is 50 acres, then we can say that it was by mistake Delhi, or it should had been Faridabad. And if location is of more importance, then we will have to say that the amount was wrongly written, it is 25 acres only. So in this case, where a fact, there are two set of facts and it applies to none uh, in exact sense, then evidence can be given as to what was exactly meant. So when the language used apply partly to one set of existing facts, so partly to one set of existing facts, and partly to another existing fact, and partly to another existing fact, but the whole of it does not apply correctly to either, evidence may be given to show to which of the two it was meant to apply. So now evidence can be given when there are two set of facts and doesn't apply exactly to any one, then evidence can be given as to what it was meant to apply. So that is what is T. And then I stands for where there is illegible words or illegible characters. So where a word has been used which is not in general sense, then evidence can be given as to what is meant by it. So that words may be of flats. So here it is FLATS. So if it is a foreign word, then what is meant by it, evidence can be given. Or if it is a local word, then what is the meaning of that local word, evidence can be given of it. Or if it is an abbreviation, then evidence can be given as to what is meant by it. For example, if it is written ASAP, then it can be as possible. Now it can be as soon as possible, or whether it was meant as slow as possible. Both will have the same abbreviation ASAP. So, what was meant? But the meaning will be totally different. As soon as possible, as slow as possible. So, what was exactly meant, for that evidence can be given. Then T, if it is a technical word, and S, that is if it is a word which is used in a peculiar sense, in a special sense, then in that case also evidence can be given. We'll just read section 98. Evidence as to meaning of illegible character. Evidence may be given to show the meaning of illegible character or not commonly intelligible characters of foreign, obsolete, technical, local, and provincial expression of abbreviations and of words used in peculiar sense. So, if that what actually if the word has created any confusion, or if it is foreign, local, abbreviation or technical, or some special word used, and what is meant by it, evidence can be given of that also. Now two sections are in the end. They are section 99 and section 100. Section 99 simply says that as far as the document is concerned, and there are certain terms and conditions written in this document. This document has been proved by section as per section requirement of section 91. Then, in order to show that there was a parallel or contemporary agreement by which this agreement was, varied. Now, either bring the document or oral evidence is not allowed as per section 92. But only the parties to the contract, suppose A and B are parties to the contract, and their representative in interest, they are bound by it. Strangers can give evidence that there was a contemporaneous agreement which varied the terms of the agreement. For this, they can give even oral evidence as such, or oral extrinsic facts also can be stated. But this stranger should have some interest in it. So, person who are not parties to the document or their representative in interest may give evidence of any fact tending to show a contemporaneous agreement varying the terms of document. So, strangers who are having interest in it may give evidence that there was a contemporaneous agreement varying the term of document. A and B made a contract in writing that B shall sell A certain cotton. So B will sell certain cotton to A to be paid for on delivery. At the same time, they made an oral agreement that 3 months credit shall also be given. So there was some written agreement and some oral agreement was also there. This could not be shown as between the oral agreement, as they have already got an written agreement. So the oral agreement cannot be shown by A or B, but it might be shown by C. This oral agreement can be shown by C if it affected his interest. So the thing is that the written document binds the parties and his representative in interest, but the strangers who have got interest in it can always give the evidence that there was a contemporaneous agreement with to vary the terms of document. For parties, they will have to make a written agreement as such. Then section 100, what it says is, or this is the last section of chapter 6, that nothing in this chapter contained shall be taken to effect any of the provision of Indian Succession Act as to construction of will. So when we are taking out the meaning of will, then nothing in this section will apply to it. It is actually a saving provision. So that's all as far as chapter 6 is concerned. We'll just revise that latent ambiguity. In case of latent ambiguity, the meaning is clear, but its application to the existing fact is not possible without further clearance, and therefore evidence is permitted. LAP. Now there are four types of it which are described in the act. One is M, meaning, that is unmeaning. It doesn't make it meaningful. It's plain to read but doesn't make any sense. So in that case, evidence can be given. Then O, that is only one of the several fact is referred to. Then what, to which particular fact it refers to, evidence can be given. Then T, where two set of things are there but it correctly matches none. So which particular set was meant, evidence can be given as to it. And when there are illegible character with regard to foreign terms, local words, abbreviations used, or technical words used, or any word used in a special or peculiar fashion or manner or sense, Then what is it evidence can be given with regard to it? Then we saw section 99, which says that the parties are bound by the document, and if there is a contemporary agreement, then the strangers can give evidence. Even oral agreement can be given by them, provided they have interest in it. And then we saw section 100, where it says that in case of construction of will, provisions of this chapter will not apply. That's all. Thank you, friends.